All right, welcome to another episode of the Gough podcast and audio experience. Today I have an incredible guest, and I don't say that lightly. We've got the amazing Todd Houghton of Houghton PT in Attleborough, which I've had the pleasure of visiting myself, and my family have been there with me as well to see this guy's amazing clinic. And it really is an honor and a privilege to bring in one of the most amazing human beings that I've ever met, and one of the best business owners, somebody I love to spend my time with. Todd, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be in your new space down here too, my first time.
We are excited to have you, and we've just spent the day together, so we are fresh on the back, if you like, of mapping out the next 3 to 5 years of Todd's business. So I suspect today's podcast is going to give us some wonderful insights, lots of energy that we're carrying over from a wonderful day together. Do you want to start by giving us a little bit of history into your business? When did you start the business, and just give us an overview of where it is today?
Yeah, so I started my business just over 22 years ago, and I'm an outpatient orthopedic clinic. And right now I have 15 team members that I've grown to over the years. We just moved into a new space about 8 months ago. And I'm proud to say since PPM Live last year, I was 1% cash based. Now I'm 9.5% up to this point in the year. And I know it's going to grow from there. So my goal is to be 12% cash based by the end of the year. So it's been a huge turnaround for me. I've been with you for almost 5 years now, and it's really cool to just to see where I've come with your help and with your team's help. So it's been an awesome ride, and I'm getting the freedom that I've wanted for a long time now. And I was so pumped to come down here with you. And I know I just mentioned to you, I feel like I wish this day never ended. I'm all set to go, and I have actionable steps that I'm going to be able to take home after this event today. So yeah, it was a great day.
So what I've got to say to anybody, and you know you've had a wonderful day when your client is talking and showing you examples of the private jets that he next wants to fly down to Orlando on to bring, and this is the special thing about Todd, to bring the team. So that's been it's been an example of the size of the day that we've had today. So Todd's making wonderful progress. I want to pull you up on the cash. We had a goal to go from 1% to, what was the goal?
So the goal was to get to 10%.
So from 1% in a business to 10%, that's nearly 1,000% increase.
Yeah.
1% to 2%, 100, and so on and so forth, right? So that's nearly, when you think about the progress that you've made, that's why when people, when you really understand the numbers, like the government do this, and they go, it's only a 1% increase in tax. Well, like the British government did it to one of my companies, and it was building the press of like 1.5% increase, and actually it was 12% going to 13.5%. So it was almost I don't know what it was, 20% increase, right? Whatever it was, like the actual facts of how much it had gone up, it isn't 1.5%, it's an increase of nearly 20. And in your case, it's nearly an increase of 1,000% better off for cash pay services coming through your business in 12 months.
Wow, I didn't think of it that way. Wow. So when you put it in perspective like that, so much gratitude for the team and for all the work that we were able to do. Wow, that's incredible. 1,000%.
That's it. That's what you've achieved in 12 months. So we've got a 7-figure, 90% insurance paid business. Been in business for how many years now?
Over 22 years. 22
years. And you're starting to be in business more than
yes,
more than 1 year.
Yes, and I think back to the first time I saw you on a podcast, and my cash rates back in the day were, I think it was like $65, and this was the accelerated program I think that I took. And as soon as I said that, you said, hold on everybody, I want to stop. If anyone needs physical therapy in Massachusetts, you should go now because Todd's going to be out of business. And that was when you had told me I was in business 1 year, I think 16 times or 15 times. Yeah. Now I feel like I'm a business owner, and I feel like I've taken that power and some other stuff. I know we'll probably get into today during this, but some big changes that I decided to make because I could see that it was possible. And just being part of this community, seeing what's possible is pretty much everything. And I know I even said this to you today, that I was lacking that I knew that it was possible. But once I got my head around seeing other members and hearing from you and having you and your team coach me, now I know it's possible, and now I'm passing it to them, which is a huge gift. Huge gift to see that it's possible. So now 1%, and we're at 9.5 right now for the year, but I'm sure we can get up to 12 or 13% because now those people are already coming. So like, it's just going to keep building.
So 22 years in business, there must have been some challenges along the way.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the challenges, or let's call them inflection points. Just points in the business where you realized that it wasn't going to work and we had to go a different direction. That to me is what an inflection point is.
That's a really good question. I think one of the big inflection points was realizing that I didn't have to take insurance, and realizing, wow, these payers are paying me $55, $45 a visit, and it's just not possible. Like, it can't work. And so I had to take the leap that I was going to go to the cash-based services.
Yeah.
And I've been obsessed with sales over the last couple of years to figure out how would I frame it, because I had to, again, believe it in myself. So I've been working through this process probably over the last 2 years, ever since I did CEO here, to see that it was possible. So that was a big inflection point for me. Another inflection point was, even though I had a business for that long, I didn't know my numbers.
Yeah.
So knowing my numbers and being coached by Chris and being coached by Luke to understand what my numbers are. I am so pumped to do the cash flow forecast. Hopefully Chris might see this back, but I'm so pumped to do a cash flow forecast.
Yeah.
Now I have an understanding. Even last night, I have a complete understanding day to day. Can I invest in something else, or should I pay down this debt? And it's actually easy, and I'm sleeping better than I ever have. So me knowing my numbers was a big deal, and me realizing that having an insurance-based business can't work right now, that I needed to switch over. And to go along with the cash-based physical therapy was a cash-based services, and use my practice as a funnel so I could get there.
I think the irony of most insurance businesses, the business owner is very, very good at the practitioner side of it. They're very good at the customer service side of it. If there is a skill that they need to master, particularly, it's very easy for, not easy, don't take that wrong, but it's significantly more likely that an insurance business owner gets to $1 million than a cash pay business owner, because of the referral sources, right? Mm-hmm. But a guy gets to $1 million running a PT business that's traditional insurance, the margins are going to be very, very thin, as we know. Right. And the irony of that business is they often go looking for more marketing advice at $1 million, and what they actually need is more financial advice and KPIs and metrics and understanding of utilizations and drop-offs and cancels. Cash flow forecasting is something that very few insurance businesses do, and yet it's probably the life and soul of a business in that realm, certainly around about $1 million, with probably 10 staff, 12 staff, payroll, leaving every night at 5 o'clock. It baffles me that business owners don't face up to that. At that point, it's not more marketing, it's usually more forecasting and more dialed in on the numbers. What specifically has cash flow forecasting done for you since we've taught you that?
Well, I can sleep at night now, so that's a pretty big thing.
At least you know when your problems are coming.
Yes, at least I know when they're coming. But I can look out now. I look out 4 months from now. I can tell you exactly what's going to happen 4 months from now, which allows me just to plan, which allows me to actually be the owner. Another thing, another inflection point that I would say is that me being a physical therapist in the business hurts the business. And by that, I mean, if I can't look at the numbers, I can't look at the KPIs, I can't forecast with the cash flow, and the business isn't going to go anywhere, then I'm guessing. I'm always guessing, and I'm having to borrow money and take this and do that. When if I just actually took the time to sit, if I had the time to sit, that everything's right in front of me. So
you like to travel a lot? Yeah, give us an idea of the last 12 to 18 months in Todd's life.
Croatia, Bosnia, England, Hawaii. Geez, I'm probably forgetting something. But our trips next year, we're going to Thailand. We're going to Dubai. We're going to England. We're going to go to Amsterdam. We're going to go to Austria, Budapest, Hawaii again. Yeah, those are 5 that I can remember.
So what are the fundamentals then in your life right now that may not have been there, let's say 5 years ago, that are there right now in your business life as a CEO that allow you to travel that much? What are you doing to allow you to be able to live this freedom and jet set life that you've got?
I would say that everything I do is with intention. Mm-hmm. I'm intentional about everything that I do. And I pour myself into my team just to help and to lead them and to make leaders. also, like coming down here, I invest in myself a lot so I can be the best leader that I can. So I have all the tools and skills. I know we talked about this here earlier today. Even though I spend an absurd amount of money and my thoughts on finding coaches and personal development, you broke it down today for me so simply that maybe I could have, but it would have taken me, I don't know how long it would have taken me to come away with the framework that I have today. So, so investing in myself, which allows me to invest in my team. And when I'm more well-rested and when I can go away, I mean, I have the best team that I've ever had right now, by far the best team that I've ever had. And they allow me to get away and be away.
Do you think that's because you're the best leader you've ever been?
Easily, for sure. Yes.
There's no coincidence. And you show me a business that's a mess and I'll show you a leader that's a mess. You show me a leader that's strong and stable and confident and I'll show you a business that's probably starting to grow, if not has been growing for a long, long time. Then the difference is usually the fundamentals. If I am running a business and I have no business skills, it's like trying to drive a car and I've got no driving skills. I can't do it. So therefore I'm a nervous wreck when I drive the car and I do everything except what I should be doing. I should be talking to my team. I should be learning cash flow. I should be understanding marketing planning. I should be looking at my prices and my model and our recruitment process, and I refuse to do any of that. So I bury my head where? The place that I'm 100% comfortable with.
In the clinic.
In the clinic, with the patients. And what happens? I make a little bit more money that week, but I see less of my kids, less of my family. I am more tired than I've ever been. I have a moment's success because I have a little bit more money. There's a few more patients on the schedule. But in the end, after a month, I look back and I think, well, the business is actually no stronger and no better than what it was. And all that it happened again was I, the business owner, through my brute force, my superhuman hero effort, got the business over the line for another month. But I haven't built a team that is leverageable, and that to me seems like what you've done now.
For sure. And yes, so me getting the confidence, me investing in myself has allowed me just to give to them and to invest in them, and also to let them know that I give them permission. I think I got this from you. I give them permission to figure it out.
Yeah.
I just give them permission. And that's okay. And if they don't get something right, and whatever that looks like, they always learn something. And as long as they keep seeing that and feeling that, well, then they gain more confidence, and then they get better habits, and they get better rituals, and then they get better routines. And I say this quite a bit. Being a business owner is not for the faint of heart at all. And I know we talked about this up here at the front of the room earlier, is that I've learned a lot of skills and grit and tenacity. I've learned all that. So I don't have to think about that anymore. But now I have the tools, so now I know how to drive the vehicle.
Yeah.
So that's something I've never needed the grit to show up. But I was also on a big path of completely being burnt out, just exhausted, tired, just miserable, because I was choosing to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, now that I have a lot more tools, I'm teaching someone else how to do it.
Yep.
Also empowering them so they feel like they're really, how they're able to grow, how they need to grow as well as too. So.
One of the best things that I've ever learned from being in coaching and actively pursuing personal development for over a decade, and now something that I try and share with my clients, is that it's okay to fail. And you wouldn't expect that to come from coaching. But I've learned that through coaching, it is okay to fail, and that the only way that I can often grow is that if I am making mistakes and I get things wrong, but I have the courage to do that, and I have the courage to know that part of my daily psyche and routine, if you like, is that I have to make mistakes, whether it's with recruitment or with prices or with marketing campaigns or sales. When you get the permission to fail, you are A, likely to very quickly find the solution, but B, you start to relax a little bit. And I think when I watch business owners, and I see you today, you're a completely different person than a guy I met 4 or 5 years ago, relaxed and calm and having fun and smiling and thinking about the future. I think when you see business owners that are on edge all of the time, they're so tense and they're so pent up, they daren't fail. They daren't drop that insurance company for fear of failure. They daren't drop the staff member who's been there for 20 years, who candidly shouldn't still be there at this point, for fear of getting it wrong. They don't tell their husband or wife that we're going to move towards more cash pay because we might get it wrong. I can't tell the patients I'm raising the prices in case they don't like it. I can't run a workshop in case nobody shows up. I can't run a Facebook ad in case I get a bad comment. They're constantly worried about failure and negativity. And that business owner is so tight and so tense and so angst and worried for the future. It's impossible for them to do anything except what they're currently doing, which is that kind of hamster wheel or treadmill, if you like, that they're on 24/7. So for me, the learning of the skills, one of them was that it's okay to fail and be comfortable with failure, knowing that if it's good failure, like bad failure is not committing to any progress or growth. That's bad failure, where I'm just doing the same stupid thing year after year after year. Good failure is, let's try a workshop title that's a bit different this month and see who turns up. Let's try a Facebook ad and an Instagram ad campaign and see if it works. Let's try 6 emails instead of 3 and see if it works. Let's try hiring above a pay grade than I'm used to see if it works. Let's try, like, that to me is good failure. That's what you're doing really, really well. You've given yourself the permission for 1 or 2 things to go wrong, but 1 or 2 things to go spectacularly right. And that's what's happening to you.
100%. And I feel like with some of the packages that I'll have going on in the clinic, on a regular basis, I walk up to the front desk with a package I just created in the moment for this person to make it fit for them. And I'm so open to just figuring it out. And when I pass it along to the team, I mean, that to me is a value, because I'm learning. So I believe in myself that it's okay. Yeah, I don't get it right. And I feel it though. I don't know if I would have felt it before, because there were too many tensions and just stress and life and all this other stuff, is that I feel it now. I'm so chill right now.
You're defaulting now. So I think it was Jocko Willink who said you don't rise to your goals, you default to your standards, something like that. It was something like that. It wasn't about setting goals, it was about having higher standards. So if we raise these higher standards, we drop to the standards that we have, right? I think you watch a business owner, when they start to get skills, when they get genuine business skills, they know they can figure things out. If it goes wrong, they drop to the standard of their skills. So you can drop now to your cash flow forecast to figure something out. You can drop to your marketing plan to figure something out. You drop to your sales skills. And that's what you're saying. You're figuring things out in real time now. Yeah. If it goes wrong, I can pivot. You watch a business owner that has no business skills, they're stuck. The fear of something going wrong and then them not knowing what to do is more paralyzing than, at least I know this doesn't work, but I can get on with it anywhere. And that's what you're watching. That's happening to you every day. You'll become more confident. There's more flair about you. You'll make better, faster decisions. You'll get the occasional one wrong. You'll default to something else. You'll pivot and it'll come good. And you won't even notice the thing that went wrong. It'll just be a necessary evil on the way to getting what you needed to do.
Yeah, 100%. And it feels good to be in that position now.
Movement, flow.
When I started 5 years ago, with you, wow.
Well, you 17 years stuck. That was that cycle of 16, 17 years. Same thing over and over and over.
Same thing. And I let people, I also realize the importance of community to me is I'm around people that know that it's possible, that are doing it. And the thing is, and I say this all the time, is that someone who may be small looking at me, I wish I was bigger. And we just mentioned this today. I'm maybe a little bit bigger than most. And I wish I knew what I knew then when I was smaller. So it's like, I'm kind of wishing to be smaller so I can get these things right. Whereas someone who might be smaller is wishing they were bigger. And it's just about, I'm exactly where I need to be.
Yeah.
One of the things we talked about today was to start to develop a business in my business. And I never would have thought that that was possible. So now I have a business. Now I'm going to create a business within a business, which is going to add to the overall thing. And again, I'm already using the funnel. So I'm using what I have and now implementing these skills. I don't have to create something new. Someone's already done it. And just through our conversation today and with your insight, helping me realize, oh, wow, I have a thing, pretty good. How can it be better? Oh, I'm just going to add this in and just shift a couple things. And everything you told me today was simple. I just hadn't seen it in this context.
Yes, it was already there.
It was already there. And something you said about going with someone who looks, just to recover, or they're looking to feel like even better, right? And you can use the same piece of equipment for 2 different reasons. Like, wow. So yeah, I just have to say that I have so much stuff going through my head right now just from today. I'm just mind blown.
Well, I think the big conversation that we had really was around sweating the assets, if you remember.
Yeah.
So how do we get as much as we can out of the assets that we've got? If I've got a shockwave machine, how do I get as much out of that asset? If I've got the ultimate asset is people. If I've got 15 staff, I have to figure out how to sweat the asset. I have to get that asset to work hard.
Right.
If I'm jogging, I'm not really sweating, right? If I'm running faster and I'm trying to break a record in the marathon or the half marathon, I'm probably going to be sweating my asset, right? And that's the phrase in business: sweat the asset.
Right.
The ultimate asset that you've got is your people. So how do we get more from these people? Okay, well, the customer database and the staff database are your two assets. So if I've got the customer database coming in, how do I get as much as I can from that? Well, let's look at what else we can offer them. If I've got 80 people a month coming through the doors, God, if I've got 10 people a month coming through the doors, great. At what point do I start to think about what else are these people going to buy? And that's the asset. Your customer who comes through the door, the ultimate asset is your customer database. And that in the end is what all of our businesses, if they're worth any money at the end of the day, my business was worth something to somebody who wanted to license it from me because I built a database of customers who repeatedly bought physical therapy, wellness services. That's what somebody bought. A customer database of people who spent money on their health, and that's what you've got. Now what we're saying is, can we take them from just spending on PT to spending on other things that promote a better quality of life?
Right. Yeah, and there are all those people, and I like the 20% rule of the people that are already coming in the door. There's going to be 20% that want to spend more. And of those people, of that 20%, there's going to be a 20% of them that wants to even spend even more.
Yeah.
And when I started thinking about the cash base a couple of years ago and listened to what they said, all we need to do is just let them know about it. As you talked about today, marketing is just letting people know. And we just got to let people know this is something that we offer. And for the right person, it's not selling anything. It's just mentioning it. Oh, that sounds good. And of those people want even more. And when we think about it that way, to me, it just takes the tension off things. It takes the tension off the team, because all we need to do is just talk to them about it. And the people that are going to want it, great, they're going to do it. Yeah, it's...
How many different ways can we find to increase the likelihood that we make more money?
Yes.
That's it. That's all my job is. How many different ways are there that I can find to increase the likelihood that I'm going to make more money? How many different ways are there for somebody to know about me? And my job is just to make sure that I'm there on all of them at any given point, and that they all know that I sell this, I offer this, I can do this, and I can do this. A failure of doing that is the absolute cardinal sin in business. I'm going to go back to something you mentioned earlier in the show. You talked about debt. And I know today we've talked about your goal that you set to get out of the business debt, but it had accrued over a few years. Tell me a little bit about that. Obviously, what was going through your head at that point to just make that the decision? What was the driver behind that? Because I know many people listening or watching to this today are probably in some kind of personal debt associated with the business.
Yeah, so I was definitely in some business debt, and going through COVID, had to take on some more debt. Was going to be opening up a new office, so I had to take in some more debt. And I got to the point, it was probably February or March. And the thing is I knew that something needed to change. And I just made the decision February into March. And then as of April, after having a few conversations with my wife, we decided to take some of our money. We paid down some debt. And then just the focus has been to pay down all the debt, all the business that we have by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was in the beginning. Once I made the decision, I felt at ease. And then I just know I had a goal. So once I set the goal, everything I think about is going towards that.
How did you just practical steps? Did you just take the profits for the business and take it aside? Did you make a purposeful intent to make more profit, or charge high prices to pay that down, or take a salary cut? What were the steps that you took?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it was actually all of the above. On top of infusing the business with some of our own personal money, I also took a pay cut, and so did my wife in the business. We both took a pay cut from the business, and using a little bit of our own personal money on a weekly basis, we raised the prices of things, and we were able to see more patients. So it was a combination of all those things.
Yeah, but it was just the fact that you'd set your mind to it at the start of the year.
Yes.
That's the position you wanted to be in.
Yes.
What's that done now for how you see your future?
Well, I've always had the abundance mindset, And I feel like at this point now, honestly, I've slept better. Well, my goal was by December 31st to have it all paid off. We should have everything paid off in probably 3 to 4 weeks, which probably by the middle of October.
Put a celebration thing on that, like note to the editor.
Yeah.
And we have a big like studio, like round of applause for that, please.
Yeah. So from April to mid-October. And so we're a few months ahead of schedule to pay off all the debt. Now it's just helped me to think about the other things we need to, as we talked about, for the, whenever their business makes money, what do we need to do with it? And now to have a nice nest egg for the business, but then to think about bigger things, thinking about investing in, when the time is right, for another office, to invest in some things that are going to help the business grow even more. And second home or other things for us personally as well, other things maybe to add to our retirement. But the biggest thing is just to make the business healthier. And I realized the way that I was going, unless I made that decision, it wasn't going to go in the direction I wanted it to.
What's the goals that you have now for the business? Give me the most exciting one that you're working on.
The most exciting goal, well, the overarching goal is to have my wife and I over the next couple of years, just to be traveling around the world, stay in a flat for a month at a time, leading the team and work on my coaching business, and just to be coaching clients all over the world.
Yep.
And to go somewhere a month, go somewhere else a month, so I can coach clients in the morning for a couple hours, and then just enjoy being a local in some city or some country. So
20 years in business, I'm going to say that you are a very wise old fox. Can I say that when it comes to the PT profession?
Yes, old fox. I get it right here.
And I mean that with respect, that we may have people listening to this podcast in their early 30s thinking about starting a business. And I've got you here now. You've probably been through a few different cycles in the PT profession. You've probably watched a few things come and go. Where do you predict the next 3 to 5 years will be? We're in 2025. Where do you think the future of the PT profession is headed?
The future of the PT profession is heading all cash-based services. Anything to help someone to really feel good about themselves, really to invest in themselves, like any of the regenerative medicine. I'll just say cash-based services to help them in the wellness arena. Yeah. Anything in the wellness arena is going to get you where you need to be in the physical therapy. If you think it's going to be insurance-based and that's it, you're going to be out of business.
I think as I watch it play out now in my consulting and working with clients on a daily basis, there's always going to be a need for physical therapy. That's not for debate. And I think it's always going to be predominantly insurance. But I think what you're going to watch is physical therapy is going to be swallowed up by the corporates, the bigger systems that can probably have better reimbursement contracts with insurance providers or carriers. The typical insurance model is lending itself to the bigger, clunkier, horribly ugly system-based businesses. And I think for the smaller kind of family, mom and pop, solo, trying to be a 10, 12 person organization, there's undoubtedly now that the future has to be and has to include high margin, wellness, concierge type services for people looking for PT who would and are thinking about other things that they're buying to increase their longevity, their energy, their enthusiasm, their vitality. And I think any business owner that's starting today, or even starting again today, whatever age, needs to be thinking about that physical therapy and insurance is not going to go away. There's always going to be a need for physical therapy and insurance. You're just going to watch it become only viable if you're in a big corporate system. If you're a small independent, family run, solo guy, girl, there's undoubtedly now a need for the cash pay service, higher margins, premium brand, authority-led, personality-based, owner-driven, uniquely suited and personifying, if you like, that business owner's personality to make it creatively different, that somebody's going to buy into that. And for that, they're going to pay you your $300 or $400, wherever it's going to be. And if we can just bolt on some kind of additional products or services around that, under the banner of concierge, I think that's the future of physical therapy, of a model that you would want to have, certainly in the next 3 to 5 years.
right? And one of the things I know in your book that you just wrote, Teach and Grow Rich, education is a really big deal. Yes, I love the title.
Now on Amazon, keep this one in as
yeah, teaching. So the word I saw was rich, but seriously,
I know
you talk.
Napoleon Hill family is probably coming looking for me for copyright.
Yeah, they probably are.
But the thing, check from the trademark point of view, I'd be all right, and I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. And if they do want to sue me, it's good publicity anyway. So
yeah. For sure. I feel like, I know you talk about this, maybe it was 3 to 5 touch points. Now it could be 12 to 15 or more touch points for someone to get to trust you. So how does someone get to trust you? Well, we just need to bring them into the ecosystem somehow, whether it's a free back pain report, or whether it's some material, or whether it's a discovery visit, or whether it's a workshop. And I've really seen doing the workshops has completely changed, which is one of the things that helped me in terms of paying off the debt as well, to increase the revenue there. Yeah. Every workshop I probably, we probably make anywhere between 12 and 15,000 per workshop, for 90 minutes a time. That's a pretty good ROI.
What it's also done, I think, as I watch you, it's put you into the classic position. You've become a leader in your town. If you've become an authority, you've become a brand in and of your own right. Todd Talks is almost your own brand as a result of you standing up in front of your patients. And that's, again, a thing that many people watching often, sadly, they underestimate the need to be a brand, a figure, an authority, the leading expert in town. And yet they want to charge higher margins and they want higher profitability, but they're still trading on clinical skills and certificates on a wall that candidly everybody in town's got.
Right. I think one of the biggest things to go with that point, you asked me before, I think just being the old fox is just to be authentic. I've got to be authentic now because I was too scared to step into it years ago doing it. Now we're just being authentic. I have my way of doing the workshops. I'm, bringing humor into it. And when you can be more authentic, that's what people want. And they can feel when someone's authentic. So if you're known in the community, branding, and you're authentic, I mean, it's a magnet. It's a magnet for people.
Amazing.
For sure.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Last question, what's the most impactful thing that you've learned from me over the years? I'll put you on the spot.
The most impactful thing, wow. The most impactful thing that I've learned from you, I would say, is to charge is my value. My value is off the charts. So I can charge my value and just to be good with it. So I'd say I'd say my value.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There's nothing more important to me. I always say, you can tell me how much money you've made, you can tell me how many holidays you've been on, and all of those things are external factors. But I've always and only really ever been interested in, are you feeling better about yourself? Do you feel more confident? Do you have more self-belief? I think every one of us is dealing with some kind of shit when it comes to that. And for me, the sort of proud dad, coach moment, whatever you want to call it, is always somebody feels better about themselves. And as a result, it's inevitable that the business is better because of that. So well done.
Yeah, thank you. And you've shown me that it's possible, not just me, but everyone else to go along with that as well. You've shown me it's possible. And it's really cool just seeing you in your life as something for me to aspire to and for something to me to keep looking towards. So thank you for doing what you do, Paul. I mean, you've completely changed the world of PT.
I'll see you. I'll see you on that jet. We'll be on together.
Yeah, yes, we will. That sounds good. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, Paul.
Kind words.
It's been an awesome day.
Thank you. All right, thanks for watching. You can listen to this on the podcast, the Paul Gough and Audio Experience on iTunes and everywhere you get your podcasts. And also we're streaming live on YouTube as well. Thanks for watching, and to our sponsors, PT Everywhere, make sure you like and subscribe. My kids will love the fact that I get to say like and subscribe on these videos these days. So like and subscribe just to keep my kids happy. They love the fact that their dad's on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with another amazing interview from another amazing PT from the profession. Todd, thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you.
Hey, this is Paul Gough. Thanks for watching. If you like my content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you're looking for even more, be sure to head over to Amazon and you can find my 7 best-selling books for physical therapists in private practice. Head over to Amazon and find me now.